Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday.
Hello. Hi, Steve Husband. Hi, Jelly Bean.
Hello.
Hi, Mayor.
What does Wednesday really mean? Let's get philosophical about
Wednesday.
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 Is it? You know, I think it's traditional to wake up in the morning on Wednesdays and be upset about monitor and TV size.
Yeah.
And apparently how some people have better eyesight than others.
Oh,
Yeah.
that really makes me angry. Oh, hello, beautiful people. We are definitely getting ready for weekly Daily Wednesdays, so we'll be on that in about
Hello.
10 minutes.
Do.
So I had a fun thing. We had a copyright claim on, might have been a weekly Daily Wednesdays Uncut episode. It was either that or Linux Gamecast Weekly. I was too busy laughing at what the claim was, because if you're unfamiliar on YouTube, you go to notifications and Claimant has wants the money from your video because we've detected, X, Y, Z. This was some audio. So I said, fair enough, curious. Let's listen to the sample. And I was like, dun, 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 dun. And I was like, okay, geez, now I got to go through our entire audio track and figure out what this is. And I did. And I found the sample and I'm like, oh, hang on. Oh, this is going to be fun. So I wrote him back. I said, you're trying to claim something from the, and this was a record label, I believe from Norway. I said, you're trying to claim a song from the YouTube audio library. Good luck with that, period.
Yeah.
I might have said XOXO at the end, too.
At that point, I think he was just mocking YouTube. Look, I'm going to claim your stuff, and you're just going to take it because there's no manual review.
Good luck with that. Tell them the same thing I told Netflix. Court case would be good publicity for the show.
Yeah, see, considering our reach, yes, any publicity is good publicity.
What's a wedness? A Nintendo wedding gift? Steve, go watch Raised by Wolves. You'll like it. He won't watch it now because I've recommended it. So ha.
No, he will.
No, he won't.
Will. Yeah, because it's Ridley Scott. It's a Ridley Scott. He'll love it. And it's a story that he's already read
that,
about
Steve?
from the 50s. Maybe they have robotic cats? I don't know.
I need drink. I'll be right back.
I'm right on the one drink. No cats. Yeah, that's a benefit, man. You shouldn't have those little murderous things around. All they do is just like annihilate billions of birds every year. Like, oh, fluffy.
And they keep vermin at bay.
So we got a couple things lined up. And your 50-inch TV. That's about the right size for you. With the glasses, if you seat about a meter away from it. I have most definitely run across a thing. It's always good to have a aspirational thing, like a realistically aspirational thing that you want. We're not talking like, oh, I want a private jet. We're talking like, oh yeah, maybe I'll talk myself into buying something like that. I found something like that. I'll tell you about it when the show starts.
Yeah, that's right, honey. We got the 50. I wanted the 55 or 60, but we got the 50. Because of vision.
Don't
Next
worry. When you kids turn 60, then you can get a 60. After a certain size, it becomes delightfully comical. I'm from Wesley. I think it's 83 or 85 inch.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's eating up an entire wall, but right on. Like, I don't judge that, but...
Oh, that's great. For me, the bigger the better. I mean, I love our 43-inch monitor.
I don't
We
watch
have
TV, so...
My computer monitor. I love having a big, giant one right here.
I don't even know. I don't even think my TV's 40 inches. It's like 30 something inches. It's a plasma. It's ancient.
Oh, like 32-inch plasma, or they made them in 40s, in 42s, and 43s. They made a lot of different sizes back then because they didn't know what people were gonna like. So
I got it for cheap. It was only $1,000 and some change.
yeah, we
That
picked
sounds
up
ridiculous now, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we picked up the second generation Samsung. We waited till the second gen, and it was just over $2,000 on sale, plasma, and that thing lasted like 12 years. The only reason we got a new TV is because it finally died. So it was such high quality. But now we have a new Samsung.
I don't see any situation where I'll ever buy another television. That was only bought because you're supposed to have a house with a TV in it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. There.
Yeah, you mostly use your computers, so.
I use tablet. I watch
A
everything
tablet.
in like 10 inches, man.
See, that's too small for me. Kill my eyes.
Well, it comes down to I don't
Kill
spend
my
much
one
time
eye.
watching. I listen to most of the stuff.
Yeah. Just have it on in the background.
Yep. Background noise.
Yeah, no, that 32-inch TV.
I do have friends, Steve. We don't sit around and watch TV. How sad is that?
There you are, Arthur.
We go outside and do
Hello,
stuff.
Arthur.
Guess what I got today? You guys are going to
It's
tease
a
me about
sparkly
this.
mug.
It's a special Disney 70s collection sippy cup.
That seems rather excessive.
Well, they had them at the they've opened downtown Disney, which is basically just an outdoor mall here in LA, and they had one of these, but the last one they had was in bad shape, so I ordered it online. I figured something obnoxious for the show would be good. And this one's shiny. It really,
It's shiny,
really shows up
it
good.
seems relatively unwieldy, and it's got an extremely inefficient straw. Yes, like I
Yes.
said, excessive.
Yes. Oh, I just loved it.
No. See, Jill is just taking the Mickey, so. You're acting the Mickey, Virginia. That's Dragon Ball P, for those unaware.
Dragon Ball P.
Yeah. It's an NG cartoon, like parody of Dragon Ball Z.
Speak what you're just making
Yeah,
mean
Arthur
is,
and Disco Mouse.
DBZ abridged.
This was long before DBZ abridged. And it was, it was back in the days when YouTube was still very much in its infancy, and animators could get away with like short skits. And that one was, it still is, it holds up. Much like Dragon Ball, it holds up.
YouTube had dark days, man, before it used to be infinitely more effective to search for something on YouTube through Google.
Yes.
Before Google bought them and integrated a proper search engine, because you could find nothing on YouTube, man.
Yeah, their search engine was horrible.
You either type the specific name of the video, or if you were even one letter off. Nope, no hits.
Matthew, one-eyed Jilly. That's right. I don't have to be old to have eye issues. I was just born with it.
So was I. I'm missing about 30% of my right eye. That's why I wear spectacles.
Oh, okay.
Astigmatism.
Oh, I was about
Yeah,
to say you should be out looking for it.
I have that
I don't miss it
severely as
that
well.
much.
Okay,
All my
okay.
other problems. Oh boy.
All right, let me grab a refill and we're going to get underway.
Okay,
Yes.
sounds good.
Yeah, no, it's something that I inherited from my mom and my grandma. And yeah, basically that side of the family is like all astigmatism all the time.
Yeah, that's I did too. I have the optic nerve issues as well as the physical issues of eyes.
And this would be the moment that if Nori wasn't so camera shy, she'd run right in and it's like, you only have astigmatism.
Yeah.
Because she has like nearsightedness and astigmatism and yeah, no. Nori's
Yeah.
glasses make mine look like toys.
Yeah, I have tried glasses, my optic nerve problem. It doesn't do anything. In fact, the glasses actually make it worse. But I have all the other physical problems like the extreme farsighted, extreme nearsighted, astigmatism and both. And, don't see out of the left one hardly at all. But they tried to fix it when I was little, and because they thought it was physical, they didn't realize there was other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I wore glasses for like 12 years, and it actually, I always had to take them off to do artwork or anything because it was they were more in the way, and they thought they were fixing it, but they weren't. And my eye surgeon, he's like, Jill, these aren't doing you any good. We've after these years, we've found that it's just not helping. There's something else going on, and we don't know what it is. So, but I tried. I'm so happy you and Nori are able to have glasses that work.
Yeah. Yeah, that I can see just fine even without my glasses. It's just if I'm not wearing them, I get really, really bad headaches.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Because my brain is stupid and keeps trying to force my right eye to be in sync with my left eye.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I get severe headaches from my eye issues. I can't help it. Oh. We're talking depressing stuff. Let's talk happy stuff.
It's a race to the bottom, kids.
Yeah, I could use a pair of bionic eyes, bionic nerves.
Yeah, it'd be nice. That's one of those sci-fi things that I very much wish we could have.
Yeah,
It's like
definitely.
bionic enhancements. Yes.
You don't want bionic enhancements.
Yeah, we do. I'd like to be able to see
Because
in my
we're
left
susceptible
eye.
to malware? What?
Having metal in your body is overrated. Let me just put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
you've
how
dealt with
about on my body?
Bionic Jill.
One of the things that I remember from being a kid is looking at someone and going, if they had glasses, it's like, I like glasses. I wish I could wear glasses. I turned 18,
Oh.
guess what? You're wearing glasses. You don't have to wear them all the time. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Helps a lot. Yeah, I get part of my nervous system issue. It's my optic nerves get inflamed, and the doctor says that's sometimes why occasionally I wake up and I can't see at all because they're inflamed, and the medicine for that is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I've tried it.
So you get sleep paralysis, but for your eyesight.
Consistently. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's
Wow.
called optic neurosis. It's a very rare condition, so rare that they don't know what to do with it. And oh well, it's just something you live with. Everyone's got something, right?
Just
See
wear a
our
blindfold all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
From what Steve was saying yesterday on Discord, I think he's already gone out to buy some wood.
Yay!
Don't worry, you just gotta
Yay.
build one like 1/18th scale, man. It's not gonna be that hard. All right, so let's check the shots. Good to go. Okay, that's good. All right, hey, let's do a show.
Yes.
Wrong side. Let's get that locked. And recording. All right. And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we can sit back, relax, take a midweek break, talk about some of the interesting things, maybe the stranger things going on in the world of Linux, open source, all that fun stuff. I'm Vin Stone. That is Joe Bryant, and joined every week, as always, one Pedro Matias. Everyone at home, watching us live, maybe after the fact, listening, like most of you are. What's up? What's new? It is most definitely another great week for Linux. I was talking a little bit in the pre-show about like aspirational things, not like crazy aspirational things, but things that are within reach, you know, like maybe a, not private jet, but maybe a fancy video card or, you know, a super high-end CPU or something like that. I ran into just that thing. You know, it's that little thing to chase for. Like, maybe I'll save up and get one of those. Because I was looking for some 500 series modules and just a rack to put them in. Those things are ludicrous. For me, they're stupid expensive, man. They're like $500-600. It's like, wouldn't it be neat if somebody made like because you can get like, you know, anything that you'd normally get in like a full-size rack would be 19 inches, but these are small little modules that you can just stack together, and you can get, you know, preamps, compressors, de-essers, anything that you want, and kind of chain them together. It's like, wouldn't it be neat if somebody made one like light pipes ADAT, so I could take a digital signal and route it through that? And a company does. Of course, company does. One company does. And that's always a problem when one company makes something, because they get to charge whatever they want for it. It's like $400. So I'm now on that probably multi-year path of trying to, it's like, well, no, there's an actual legitimate use case for this other than you want to play with it, Vin. So that's where I'm at. What about you, Jill?
Okay.
Aww. So I celebrated Star Trek's 54th anniversary yesterday. Yay! It premiered on September 8th, 1966. So yesterday they had a 24-hour marathon playing some favorite episodes of Star Trek, and the actors had a fun meet and greet online at StarTrek.com, and it was a lot of fun. It was wonderful to be able to celebrate, even though I couldn't go to the big convention this year for obvious reasons. So that was nice.
But you, Pedro, I heard you get a new monitor.
I did. It is actually, in fact, a monitor, but it's a 32-inch 2560 by 1440 monitor. It's just 60 hertz, nothing fancy, but it is IPS.
What are you, a peasant?
Apparently, I am, because I'm using it as a TV. Well, to be fair, Nori's the one who's probably going to be using it the most as a secondary monitor. But yeah, no, it's a TV, and so at the exact same time that the TV arrived, the Noctua 92mm fan that I had ordered to go in the back of the Steam box also arrived. So yeah, no, Amazon, killing two birds in one stone, or killing both my productivity and Nori's. So
Nice. At least you're
Very
keeping
good.
busy, man. Let's jump right into it. I made a thing. Typically, like once a year, I make like the state of just what I've stuck together and how we're doing the show. And this year was no exception. I threw this out on the internet. This went up for patrons about a week ago. I'm like, hey, if you're curious about how we stick everything together here at LGC, look at that video quality, man. Let's see if I can bump that up to 1080p. This is going to cover it, man. Just giving you an idea of what you can put together with Linux, mostly open source software, and basically a little bit of time on eBay and a shoestring budget. I'm covering Outdoor, how that's put together, how we tie it into OBS, and later on, how we stick that into DaVinci Resolve. And I'm back to OBS and how we make a podcast there at the end out of all of this fun stuff. So if you're curious about that, it's there. There's even a parts list for our Jackbox, because I know people have been curious about that. If you want to build your own, there it is. It's how we use NetJack with Jack for real-time audio. And, you know, one of the cool things about doing all this stuff over IP with the video and the audio, like these boxes could be in a building next door. You know, there's no like real limitation as long as they're on the same LAN. And, you know, I walked through Adore, how we do all of our plugins for audio processing, give you an idea how Mix Minus works, so we're able to talk over each other, which is critical to the Saturday show.
yes.
Yes. And it is. It's part of the game. And, you know, sometimes it's fun just to like not talk over Jordan and just watch him as he tries to, I'm like, I'm talking over you, man. So if you have some questions about that, send them my way. Leave a comment on the YouTube video and I'll get back to you. But yeah, this is all possible with open source. Like it's
Yay.
nice.
completely on Linux. So that's why I roll my eyes a little bit. I'm like, Linux audio is problematic. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not even a little bit. You can get good
it's the
results.
audio and the video editing complaints that I usually see on the internet. It's like, no, you want Adobe. You want Premiere. That's what you want. And no, Premiere is not on Linux.
It's, well, we've had that talk. We talk about that a lot on Saturdays with, if you ever run into somebody that's saying, I'm waiting until thing X works on Linux, just write that person off, because thing X will become thing Y the second X gets on Linux. They're like, oh, now it's this other program that I've never used in my life. It's, hey man, if you want to play around with Linux and you want to make a new operating system and all that, just do it. You know, don't try to force anyone into it. And you're never going to convince somebody that doesn't have that curious spark or that need to get away from like a black box operating system, be it Windows or Mac. Yeah. So that's the little thing I threw out for the community. I'm like, hey, go forth and do some cool stuff. But there's a new little, well, not even new. We've definitely talked about it on this show a couple of times.
Yes.
Something that's going to help simplify what I do. And it's going to be so simple, even a Pedro can do it.
I hope so. Though I did already have my hopes sort of kind of dashed in the show notes, but we'll get to that. Pipewire, late summer update 2020. Basically, you can see Wim Taemans. He's the one who's been doing most of the testing. And he's also been doing like internal demonstrations to the GNOME people and the Fedora people because, well, right now it is working for most of the typical use cases that you would need in a GStreamer type of solution, be it handling Pulse Audio, handling ALSA, even handling Jack to a certain degree. It's already doing most of that. It's not 100% there yet, and they do say that it probably won't be for a while still. But the basic, and you know, being able to use it, that person Wim Taemans has been able to basically just use Fedora 32, regular workstation that you can download, and with Pipewire, just having Pipewire handle all of the audio. And now he's also asked other people with specific use cases, like people who need Jack, to start testing it as well. And there's a screenshot of Carla, the Jack application, running in Pipewire with Pulse Audio syncs, ALSA syncs, Jack syncs, and all the sources, and you can wire everything together without, having to go through Jack for the plugin for Pulse Audio, and vice versa. So yeah, no, that's good. If you have Fedora 32 installed in something that's not your production box, I say there's a command in the article. You can just run it. It'll install everything, and away you go.
Yay, this is wonderful. And it's so nice to see great progress on Pipewire. And what was really great about the article was that they laid out a timeline, which was really nice. The developers are aiming for Pipewire to be stable and ready by Fedora 34, and that 32 and 33 Fedora will be for Pipewire testing, stabilizing, and new features. So it seems like it's going to roll out a little quicker than expected, according to their timeline. I know it's going to be a while before we see Fedora 34, but it's coming along. It's awesome.
Definitely is, man. Right now, Pipewire can communicate with most things like a door. That's really what I care about. I'm like, yeah, you got that going for you, man. Work is being done to make it human readable. So your audio devices through Pipewire are going to show up in applications like Pavu Control, which I'm sure most of anyone listening is familiar with. And it's going to look just like Pulse Audio. So simple pages like, oh, look, thanks. Pavu Control is a brilliant application if you haven't used it and you have to deal with Pulse. Now, Pipewire is going to let you create like syncs for stuff like I need to sync to ALSA, or if I need to sync to Pulse Audio, and GStreamer, Jack, anything like that. No word on that, Jack. Please get back to me on that, because kind of need that. Now, eventually, the ultimate goal here, I know some of you are thinking, isn't this like core audio? It is not exactly, but it's close enough where it makes no difference to core audio under Mac. On Apple, they got that right, man. In the future, in this beautiful moon future that I plan on living in, applications will be able to target Pipewire directly instead of Pulse Audio or ALSA or Jack. And like Chrome has an experimental feature right now. You can enable direct Pipewire support. That's going to make life so much easier, because if I can connect to that, as long as Pipewire is going to maintain some level of network transparency, then I don't have to do this roundabout Jack to Pulse Audio sync to net Jack to Jack, then break it back out to Pulse Audio. So yeah, exciting. It'll probably be, let's see, in Debian, whatever. My goal is to live long enough for it to get to Debian.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll probably be in Debian 12.
Again,
7
to live
years
long
from now.
enough.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Always good news. What is this? This is a Twitter post. So what's this about?
Well, this is the sole developer of the Ubuntu CDE remix, which never happened because, well, he was just kind of working on it because he had some time to spare. But now he doesn't, so he doesn't have time to work on it, and so he's asking on Twitter, it's like, look, if anyone can and wants to help, just fork it, build whatever patches you want. If you send me the pull request with a patch, if it works, I'll merge it back. Cool. So I had a look at his GitHub, and it's currently sitting at 0 forks.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's well, I think I can see why. Part of me really wants the CDE desktop on a modern Ubuntu. That tickles a side of my brain, but the other side of my brain is going, yeah, remember when you tried Trinity a few years ago?
Yeah.
You couldn't. You just couldn't. It was like going back in time is like, oh, there's so much functionality that's
Did
just
like Neo
not
show
there.
up and give you some sunglasses? I mean, what happened?
But yeah, no, it's like KDE 3 at the time. It was great, but I've been spoiled, especially by KDE 4, because KDE 4.12, version 4.12 was amazing. And then, of course, KDE released Plasma or KDE 5, and they screwed it up monumentally again. But yeah, there's always going to be a niche for this kind of thing. Just, look at Jill and her love for the next desktop environment type of situation.
Yeah, yes.
There's an audience for this out there. It's just apparently not
Hipsters.
developers.
Aw. Well, as a lover of the classic common desktop environment, I was actually looking forward to the success of this Ubuntu spin. And as Pedro was saying, I still am using Window Maker, which was based off of Next and Next Step, and all the things. So I really liked Common Desktop Environment. Was one of my first desktops introduction to Unix back in the day on my Silicon Graphics workstations, and I think for Ven too.
See, I had to use it to such an extent. CD, I love you. I spent a decade dealing with CD on the rare times I was on a GUI with Solaris. I'm good. Also, it's a spin, though. Can't you just install CD like a normal person in any other distribution that you're currently running on?
You can, but some things don't work currently.
Yeah, there's issues with it.
There's been several ABI and API changes since CD was actively supported in modern day distros.
So outside of like retro hipsterism, show title, what's stopping you from doing what I did? I'm like, hey, I want a modern version of CDE, and XFC is like, here you go. Here's
There you
one.
go.
Because that's XFCE. That's like running an emulator instead of playing the actual physical console. I'm okay with that. A lot of people are not.
Yeah, I don't know. CD
Puritans.
Yeah.
apparently they all died looking at this.
Oh.
Come over to XFC. Everything just works. It's awesome. Okay. HP has got a new book out for 2004. It's certified for 2004.
Yeah, this is exciting because now we have yet another major brand supporting Linux on the desktop.
I know. It's like each and every week.
So
Here's a new thing.
Yay! Giving Linux that desktop love. And HP's latest high-end ZBook series of laptops and their Z desktop workstations are now certified to run Ubuntu 2004 LTS. Yay! So that'll come with support and the guarantee that everything just works out of the box. And the laptops actually start at just under $2,000.
That's not too bad.
It's not
we do
bad
have to
for a
take
high-end.
Pause, though. Where do we rate the poorly shopped image? On the
We got
laptops?
another.
Yeah, I'm
give
pretty
that
sure they could have easily taken an actual picture of it and not, just chopped the screen onto the laptop.
I think
that was unnecessary.
I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give this one a 6.5, possible 7 out of 10, simply because the perspective's close. Like from a distance, it looks okay. So I'm not going to enlarge it because my dreams fall apart. But
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know about the ZBox or ZBook book series, the ZBook series, is that they're aimed at AI developers and data scientists, and of course you can use them to render animation as well. And they're very high-end workstations. In fact, they come with the Intel 10th Gen Core series or Xeon processor, and an NVIDIA Quadro RTX or an AMD Radeon Pro GPU, which is meant for, crunching big numbers and rendering.
Yeah. This is the workstation level one, kind of like we've seen Dell doing with the Precision line. Because
exactly.
if you go like 4 or 5 layers deep into Dell Store, you can find the Ubuntu versions of the Precision laptops. I know I know you can go to linux.dell.com and there's a link down the side that goes like Linux workstations and laptops, but 99% of the people out there don't. So yeah, it should be right there front and center, kind of like what Lenovo did with the Fedora ThinkPad. It's like, oh, you just go to the store and it's one of the options.
No. Part of getting a Linux laptop is the adventure of trying to find it on the website.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see HP pulling the same kind of shenanigans that Dell currently does,
did.
because
Yeah.
Dell, for all of their efforts with Project Sputnik and everything that they've said that it was great and it was this and it was that, and then you try to spec out like the Dell XPS 13 that you'd like with Ubuntu, and half of the options are missing. Why?
You just got to try harder, man.
Apparently.
Did you not try the Konami code on their website?
Yeah.
I have to plug in the SNES or connect the SNES Pro 8-bit Do controller.
So you are a resident KDE shill.
I
so
am.
let us know.
Here we go.
I am the worst KDE shill ever, mostly because I keep making fun of them.
When you take a break, when you take a break from embracing your leather jacket.
Oh, Master Cameron. Anyway, this week in KDE, Annotations in Spectacle. What's Spectacle, you might be wondering? It's the screenshot tool. Basically, the screenshot tool now has a dedicated button that you can, just have a very basic drawing feature to annotate screenshots or, literally any kind of notification, which is nice. It's great. It's amazing. But the very next thing is how they're changing like the system settings, namely the Bluetooth configuration page. It's going to be changing from the current layout, like it's been for basically since KDE 4, to the fancy QML settings page that they've been doing for all of the settings in KDE lately. And I'm still not sure I like it, because they did that a couple of versions ago to the advanced window rules, which is something I use a lot, mostly to tell applications that don't remember the coordinates that their window was last spawned in, and just spawn it wherever it feels like. So I go into the advanced window options and I say, no, you spawn there, and you remember that. And it does. It's part of the reason why I'm still using KDE, because, despite its many flaws and questionable design decisions, it's still the best for what I use. So, yeah. And the Bluetooth thing, if they're going to introduce that, it's just going to make it a scroll fest, because in the advanced window rules now, you either use the search function that they put into the actual rule chooser, or you're scrolling a lot, because while all the options used to be there, you could see them on the GUI, and now you have to use a text-based interface to find them.
It's Linux. Deal with
What are you doing?
Dippity type.
GUI.
Aw. Well, I thought it was great to hear that the console terminal launches faster. I've noticed it's been a bit sluggish. It's always the one that takes a little longer than others to launch. And it looks like they changed the default main window size to be bigger, which is always a good thing. So, because I always have to go in and enlarge them because of vision issues. So
It's good progress. The only thing I look for in a window manager, as long as I can open up 60 virtual terminals and pretend I'm going to have any organization, which I don't, towards the end of the day, I'm good.
That was one of the things that they introduced with KDE 4, which was the ability to scroll over the task manager, and it would just scroll through the open windows. And if you put on top of a specific icon that had multiple windows open and you hit scroll, it would just scroll through those. That's like, oh, I really like that.
Good on them. Good on them.
very nice.
Now, for the artiste,
Yeah.
we talked a lot about when Inkscape rolled out the 1.9. Now, new and improved 1.9.
Yeah. Point not.
Point
No,
one.
1.0.1.
There we go. That sounds better.
There we go. Yes. Inkscape 1.0.1 has been released, and it has lots of great bug fixes and a few new features
Oh, okay.
as
My
well.
first question is, I see Linux, I see Windows. It was like Mac good stuff. Is that how they roll?
Yeah.
I guess if you're on a Mac, you can homebrew it or build it yourself.
You
Yeah.
ever tried to set up a build
not-
environment on a Mac? I mean, Windows is
Yeah.
no joke either, but
Yes.
They
Yes, I
always
have.
release. Yeah, they always release the Mac one later because of reasons. But anyways, this release, one of the big new features is it has a colored managed PDF export to Scribus, which is one of my favorite open source desktop publishing apps for Linux. So that's a really nice feature. So you can import all the curves and colors and whatnot. And it has a new preferences option to limit screen tearing while editing. You could have it, refresh your artwork quicker or slower if you don't want that screen tearing. So that's been an issue with Inkscape. So it's nice that they're addressing that. And the other cool thing is if you're using one of those people who are taking a chance and using Inkscape with a snap.
If you're using one of those people, please stop. People don't like being used.
Using people. Oh my gosh. That was funny. Sorry. So anyways, the Snap now uses the system's font cache and also this finds all the installed fonts for you. So that's always an issue with the snaps to get the preferences loaded and the fonts and all the things. So they fixed that with Inkscape.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's Inkscape. I think I opened it twice in my life, and it was to remove a single layer. And I hit the delete key. It's like, why are you not deleting? Oh, there's another
Yeah.
key combination you gotta hit. Never mind.
I don't know, man. It's a specialized tool. It's one of the things you got to learn.
Yeah.
And I've Googled my way through it a few times.
Yes, you have.
But
And yeah,
same
so-
thing. You just got to start thinking with vectors.
Yes, exactly. And that's it. We need this desktop publishing app and the competitor to Adobe Illustrator very bad on Linux, and we have one.
Good to see the work being done. Now, something we've all ran into, maybe not run into, maybe it's happened to you, yet you're blissfully unaware, is you plugged in a USB device, typed in LS USB, only to get like the equivalent of a shrug emoji, some numbers, man. Like, what would be this? It's not necessarily a problem these days, but you could still run into it. This is on opensource.com. I wanted to give this a mention. You can find all of this stuff in our show notes after the fact. Recognize more devices on Linux with this USB ID repository. Man, I just think this could also be handy for tracking down unlisted devices. It's a public repository. All known IDs used in USB devices that have been submitted. This is community done. They maintain nightly snapshots. This is easy to set up. And I set it up on Debian. I didn't see anything because I didn't have anything unlisted on this box. But yeah, you can do just update USB IDs after you've installed this, I guess you could say. And there it is. More like, I don't know what this is. And you start tracking it down. You get a nice little name next to it, which neat. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And I also like the, hey, you can share this, your results, if you got some stuff that's not in the database, get it updated.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
pretty
really
sure
cool.
the one thing I remember that when I hit LSUSB would never show its name, so I could always find it because it was really easy. Was an old digital camera that had the sensor was terrible. The pictures weren't very good quality, but it could store 40 of them, and it was teeny tiny. So I ended up using it a lot just because of that. And whenever I plugged it into like my laptop at the time running Linux, it's like I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
Well, never mind.
Well, I'm looking really forward to using this. And actually, at one time, I know this is a little crazy, but I plugged in 30 USB mice into one of my computers.
What are you talking about?
and-
A hoarder having 30 mice? No.
Oh, I have more than that.
See?
Probably over 100.
Ven gave you a way out, and you kept on going.
Going, yes.
Like, no, stop. It's far worse. And it's even more sad than that.
Mises. Well, yes, of my USB mice. And, I noticed that a lot of them didn't have the vendor names next to the numbers. And so this is a way that I can contribute to the project by including those vendor names, as well as them being able to bring their database to me. So
That's kind of good. But, I've definitely given, like, when it comes to, a mouse, I look for, like, 2 click buttons. We're good. I give Pedro quite a bit of static simply because Pedro wants to bring drivers into that relationship.
yeah, yes,
I need to address these 11 buttons somehow. Okay.
I address all of these buttons because there's a kernel level driver for it.
Yeah, I'd like it to remember if I decide to plug this into, say, a laptop. I'd like it to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, you just avoid buying that. I'm not saying the fix for this doesn't involve time travel. Okay, let's just get that on the board.
It might.
It's kind of brilliant. Something I ran across was like, oh, that's fascinating. Is we use OBS. I use OBS all the time. A captions plugin that is using Google Cloud speech recognition. Well, at least it's using the API. And that means it's going to be pretty quick. Usually less than half a second. And this is something that you can build into OBS, with just the dbuild, do the captions equals on, drop the plugin in, and away you go. This should work with YouTube, and it should work with Twitch. I didn't try it today because I didn't feel like playing with that much fire, but it's something I'm looking forward to being able to add to Wednesday and Saturday streams. So you'll have a little CC down there for those of us who don't want to hear, especially my grating voice or
right, your voice is grating.
Oh,
you don't have to listen to it. The voice in my head sounds like this too. It's horrible. It hasn't been extensively tested on Mac. I'm going to shoot out here, but theoretically, everything should work. I think that's awesome, and just having that ability, especially with your streams,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
If it is using the Google Cloud
Gloogle.
speech recognition, yes. The Google Cloud speech recognition API, that means a couple of things.
Wait, hang on. Is Google? We gotta dial this back. Is Google the sponsored search engine in Feedorf?
Yes.
Now we have a default search engine name too.
Google.
Man, you're
Right.
building my distro for me. But yeah, no, that means if it is Google based, that it will first it will screw up in not a whole lot. It won't screw up all that much, but when it does, it will be hilarious. And the half a second delay, that's usually what you get if you're watching a live stream on YouTube and you turn on CCs. That's about what you get. It's like, oh, that's really good. It's going to be hilarious, but it's really good.
Yeah, over the years, we've been able to follow it with our VODs on YouTube. I mean, it's gotten from the game controller mayonnaise to the dolphin, okay, to I would say it's probably getting 98% accuracy now.
All right, okay.
No, it's nowhere near. I would always go back, 3 or 4 years ago. It was worth just rewatching the show on the CC on because there was some good comedy in there.
It was amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
It was coming up with stuff that I couldn't piece together. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'll probably give it a test. I might give it a test run Friday. So when I go live
that'll
on
be
Twitch,
good.
we'll see what happens. Because if that implodes, hey, oh no, you don't get to watch me play a video game. Cool. Hey everyone, we're going to jump into a slice of pie. Before we do that, we always want to thank each and every one of you who do make this show possible. We don't have like sponsored ads and stuff like that. We do it all with your support. You are beautiful party patrons at patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. You get us a budget to do the things we do. Also, I get to do a little bit of side project stuff and like do my best to help people come over to Linux. I'm going to throw them some bones. Like, you want to do some audio stuff? Hey, we can do that. You want to do some video stuff? I'll try to help you out with that. And yeah, it's been kind of awesome. It's kind of fun. Thanks for letting us do that. We do have a bunch of stuff. If you want to be really fiscally responsible, I got a studio list on Amazon. You get your name up there. We say some things. Jill and Pedro have unique Amazon wish list if you would like to peruse that. Jordan's got the best one though. Don't open Jordan. However, disclaimer: don't open Jordan's at work.
You can open it at work, just not in front of your parents
Or anyone. Play it safe and don't do that. And everyone, if you join us on Patreon, man, come hang out with us in Discord. There's our super, super hyper secret room that we're in the other 6 days a week. It's not. It's really chill group of people to where you get to see Matthew wake up and be angry at televisions first thing in the morning. It's magical. It's a wonderful place. All your dreams come true. And of course we have IRC and everything. All that fun stuff is live. I throw some extras out there. If you can support us, you know, we got an extra podcast, Preepy Super Shows, and that's a production meeting. You get that, you get a video version. You'll get this show like an hour and a half early if you check out the announcements tab. Simply because I have to sit back and wait on YouTube to process everything for the uncut version. So I just go ahead and drop that in. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's our shilling segment. Yay.
Yay.
Ta-da.
Nice.
Now we can get in and celebrate a little bit of pie. Even though Google, every time I type I go to search for these pictures, Google's like slice of pizza. No, Google.
Oh,
Nay.
it's pie. Not real
It
pie.
is not, March 14th anymore, but, well, there was a sort of kind of pie that I saw. It showed
Pedro,
up on...
I thought we had made a pact not to bring theoretical RISC-V pie into this relationship.
Yeah.
Well, this one is very much theoretical at this point. There is a plan to create a sort of kind of Picario, which is about Raspberry Pi size, but instead of running ARM, it's running RISC-V. Okay, that
Right.
sounds right. The specs look all right. It's a quad-core 64-bit, 500 megahertz on each of the cores, but this is RISC, so you need to remember that each of those core has 4 threads instead of 2, kind of a thing. It has one 32-bit RISC-V always-on core. Again, RISC things, just deal with it. The 16-bit LPDDR4 memory. There's no like amount of memory being discussed just yet. I'm sure that will vary based on the different
I'm
ones.
reasonably sure it's going to have 2, possibly 3 memory.
Yes, possibly even like 16 megabytes.
16 memory. Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah, it will be interesting to see. The other thing that I'm worried about is how much is this going to cost? Because if you've seen, and I'm going to keep saying RISC-V there, Foxy, if you've seen the prices of RISC-V
Michael will
stuff.
actually in the show notes. Not exactly. They're aiming solely for Chrome OS. That's not well actually. You on that? Are they? Is he? I don't know.
Yeah,
Chrome
the
is-
article didn't say that, but I've read other articles that have talked about that, yes.
But to
Chrome
Pedro's point, yes, it's a real worry that you can absolutely have if they're it's like, how many are you going to make? 4. How much are those going to be?
About $4,000 each.
Yeah.
Well, it says that this RISC-V small board computer is supposed to compete with the price point of the Raspberry Pi.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yep.
So that's a really big deal, and it's what we need to bring RISC-V adoption to the mainstream market. So if this is actually true, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
I,
That's a pretty big if.
I look forward to it being, every other week. There's like, hey, there's this new thing. And think, well, I want Risk 5 to roll out and do some awesome stuff. And it's got to live up to that promise. So stuff like this is helping pave that path.
Yes.
Which is good. Which is good. But this is not theoretical, not in the slightest.
Well, to celebrate Star Trek's 54th anniversary yesterday, we have a fun Raspberry Pi project. This is someone has built the classic Star Trek captain's chair with a Raspberry Pi and Google Assistant. And this is David Garcia's journey into that process. And he started this project because he wanted to find out what would be the best way to integrate Google into Google.
That's what I look forward to these days.
Google, yeah, Google Assistant into furniture. So this is a really great way to do that. He actually built the chair, and he said it was a little tricky because a lot of the online blueprints for this don't have the base, and that's true. I've seen a lot of these chairs. So he had to make a very strong base, but he just used easy to get elements like plywood, and then he built the buttons on the side of the arm, and linked them to a Raspberry Pi, and each button says a different sound, like red alert, of course.
I'd love a little. You want to smash those buttons and be like, danger, Will Robinson, just so you can aggravate the people who come over to your house. I just have use the Force, Luke.
Yeah. It's, red alert and engage and con, of course.
I definitely have one that like DS9 was the superior series.
Oh. But anyways, I think this was just really fun to see what you can do with your Google Assistant and using a Raspberry Pi, and have a lot of fun with it. It's the next evolution to the captain's chair that we all know and love. Yes, one chair.
The only thing I've ever thought about that chair is, doesn't it look wicked uncomfortable?
Oh, it is. I've actually sat there. There are two original chairs, and one of them.
Well, I would imagine any chair at your size would be wicked uncomfortable.
Yeah. But no, I actually sat in one at the Star Trek conventions, which I worked at. We had one of the originals on stage for the actors to come out and sit in when they started their talks, and that one's now at the Smithsonian. And I got to sit in it, and I put all my triples around me and got a lot of nice shots in it backstage. So. That was really cool. And it was not very comfortable.
I wouldn't imagine so, with your little legs dangling.
Yeah, that was a problem. I couldn't touch the base. And then, William Shatner has talked about how uncomfortable that chair is.
Seems like
oh, is that why all the captains in Star Trek are always standing around? Okay.
Standing around it, yeah.
Well,
it's hot and sweaty.
Did you ever see Riker try to sit in a chair? He has
throw
his leg over it.
Flip it around.
It's strange, man. I think
he does the long leg. Yeah. Yes. So thank you, Artherin, for bringing this to our attention. I love this project.
Actually, thank you, Artherin, for contributing at least 3 of the stories in today's podcast.
Exactly. One of our most loved executive producers.
It's kind of brilliant. We even have a thing in Discord if you want to just drop that in there. We got show notes. Boom. Put it in there. And there's a chance it could, unfortunately, end up on the show. I'm just kidding. Thank you. Maybe you would like to give us the old slow way of contacting us. Be like, hey, man, I'm a hipster. I need contact forums. This Discord thing's too fancy and new school for me.
Well, you could always pull a Captain Sullivan down into Mississippi and, go low, slow, and easy. Or you can go to Linux Gamecast. I don't know what that was all about. Don't Don't
I was just gonna
don't
let
read
you
too
have
much
it.
into that.
was gonna
I
let you
certainly
have it,
didn't.
man. I was gonna let you have it.
But
Okay,
yeah,
what's Ven gonna type this time?
linuxgamecast.com. You hit the contact button. Make sure you pick LWDW in the teeny tiny little show selection box, and that will ensure that your feedback shows up right here instead of on the hate mail segment on Saturday,
Yeah.
where the replies or the response might be a bit different.
Yeah, it could be a little bit. Check this out. We got one. It's quick. It's sweet. It's about. I made a video about just showing off noise repellent versus when RTX Voice launched. I'm like, hey, this little thing that I use all the time here. That's similar. I mean, it's a different tech than RTX Voice. I was like, here's a little video. This is how you can set it up, and here's a demo. Well, how do we? Alcaris? Yeah. All right, we'll go with that name. It's David. Setting up Jack can be pretty confusing for new users who want to get this set up because you all have just installed Jack, and then the user complains they can't get audio anymore because it's all gone. Ah, man. And they have to go through the process of setting up the device so you can get audio as normal. Anybody want to take a crack at decrypting that? Pedro?
Basically, Jack is not, me friendly or user friendly in general.
No.
Yeah.
Don't confuse friendly with laziness. I've seen some of the hoops you jump through to get a video game working, son.
Yeah, that's because I like playing video games.
You're not walking out of that corner, man. Jack is... Pipewire is going to help it. One of the things Pedro wrote in the notes was like, hey, I don't have to set up Jack. And I can... It's like, it doesn't work like that. Jack is...
Dang it.
Yeah.
Low latency. It's designed for professional audio. And there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's nothing insurmountable. You're going to have to read some documentations. You're going to have to play around. If you have a USB interface, you got a whole new level of like hard mode on top of you. There's a reason everything, and there's a FireWire. Unfortunately, we don't have Thunderbolt support for any of the new interfaces. But unlike USB, Apple, thank you, Apple, they forced everything to be class compliant, mainly because the iOS devices and stuff like that. The reason all of your USB sound cards and your interfaces work when you plug them into Linux is because Apple did that. It forced them to, because you can't have drivers for like your iPad. So it has to be perfectly to spec. With Thunderbolt and previously with FireWire, there was a standard, but all the manufacturers we're going to put our little special twist on it. We're walking back into that brave new world with Thunderbolt, unfortunately. So setting up Jack's not going to be easy. You shouldn't break anything. Jack and Pulse Audio exist perfectly in modern devices. You can even bridge them together. You can have them running at the same time. It's not going to hurt anything. If you've knackered your Pulse Audio setup by installing Jack, you probably shouldn't be playing with anything, because that is an exceptional amount of you had to go out of your way to do that. There's no manual that says get rid of Pulse Audio. And again, don't use Jack unless you have a need for it. It doesn't sound better. You're not going to notice the latency difference. You're just not. I mean, I play my games with Pulse Audio,
Mm-hmm.
It gives you more control in much the same way that Linux as an operating system gives you more control over everything that happens in your computer. It's just a matter of wanting to learn it, which you don't.
Yeah, if you don't have a need. See, Pedro's fights with what are the things to Pulse Audio? I've heard Pedro complain about doesn't remember the things. That's laughably easy to fix with Jack. It was that's adorable. I walked Jordan through setting up Jack. Took 15 minutes. He's done. Boom. Good to go. So it is doable. I will probably do something this is your basics of setting up with Jack. The biggest problem, and I'm not poo-pooing on USB audio interfaces, because I know a lot of people, everyone has one but one. USB is just a nightmare for multi-channel audio. It's a horrible protocol. It's packet-based, and you're going to get X runs. So that's why you see people who will I've did a lot of work. I went to the real-time config scan. I got everything set, got permissions. I got swappiness correct. I've locked out the memory. And I've gotten it down to only a few X runs every hour. That's why. So that's why for me, step one's goodbye PCIe Express Firewire card, because I got to be able to do 5 hours straight multi-channel without AX run. And I do. That's kind of brilliant. So yeah, I think that's it. Beautiful people. We haven't overstayed our welcome, but you will get tired of us in a minute if we don't go ahead and bail. So let's bring up some happy fun music and roll them credits for the people that make the show possible.
Thanks again to Artheron for all the stories. And I agree, Artheron. Jack isn't that hard to set up, at least not in modern days. I remember trying to do it back in the late 90s.
The problem is people confuse getting it set up with configuring it correctly.
Yeah. I did get it to work.
Again, there's a difference between getting it to work.
Yeah. Configuring it right.
I speak from that. That's why I look forward to Pipewire.
Yes.
Yeah, even not having to deal directly with the repercussions of Pulse Audio and GStreamer not liking each other very much. That would be nice.
What do you use GStreamer for?
Thankfully, not much nowadays.
Yeah, I never use it.
That's my real.
Bye,
everyone.
Now, another thing about Pipewire is it's going to be part of your life simply because in 10 years from now, when Wayland's ready, I kind of don't say that ironically at this point. All right, you're locked out.
Remember when you could crash my laptop remotely by enabling return video on Skype?
Yep.
That was because GStreamer did not like the FGLRX drivers.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you started an
remember when I did that to Terry and he thought we hacked his system?
Yeah. It's like, how did you do that?
Ex-NASA employee. I put the fear of stone in him.
Aw.
Yeah, the moment you started a X Linux video sync, FGLRX would go, nope.
Yeah, I know GStreamer has gotten a lot better, but I've always just learned to avoid it.
Well, Pedro and I use GStreamer not out of choice, but using OBS, you're using GStreamer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Photon, you remember eSound?
Yep.
I don't remember eSound.
Enlightenment sound.
I remember OSS.
No,
I remember
eSound
getting
was...
that OSS to ALSA translation and it failing miserably.
eSound is still used in the back end of Enlightenment. It's still there, along with ALSA.
What am I cooking tonight? I have no idea, Arthur. I was gonna ask Nori if she knew what we should have for dinner. No, she's playing Skyrim.
Yeah, Arthur, and I remember using OS with oh gosh.
In a perfect world, you would do everything with
XMMS.
ALSA, but ALSA is a nightmare to write to.
Yeah, I was using OS all the things in the 90s.
Oh yeah, I paid for the OSS actually make sound work package.
KDE still has its own version of Phonon, but it's just Pulse Audio nowadays. It inherited the Phonon name, but it's just Pulse Audio.
No.
Try to explain I hate saying it pro audio because I don't consider this pro, but I guess comparatively pro audio latency requirements to an OBS developer that doesn't know anything about audio. It's adorable.
Like you to us?
I don't bother trying to explain stuff to you two. I just give you the cliff notes.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Arthur, and I've done a lot of my old apps. I have to get a ALSA to OS converter so they'll play right in the old games. Also, that's a thing. Like the
That's,
BB demo.
PADSP nowadays. It's you still need it.
Yeah.
Doom.
Yeah.
What was it? Hack/Loot. One of the first Humble Bundle games. It wasn't the first. I think it might have been the third. Linux game. But it had no audio if you were using Pulse Audio. But if you disabled Pulse Audio and just used ALSA, sound played just fine. It's like, what the hell?
I know. Yeah.
Well, I saw Matthew brought up Kingpin, and I'm like, I never got sound to work in that thing. Ever. And we're going old school. We're talking late 90s, too. That never flew. Ever since Enemy 2. Yeah, that worked back in the day. I didn't have a problem with that. Pulse works. I mean, it is violently tripped and fell and staggered its way into good enough.
I remember first attempt that I had with Linux on a laptop. I was like, okay, I'd like to play a video game and have a YouTube video or music playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
No. You can only have one.
Yeah. Also, like the old art sound service.
Yeah.
You can have one. You can do multiple channels with ALSA now, but...
I was happy when it's like, oh yeah, Pulse Audio is not the default. It's like, wait a second. That means I can play sound from more than one source through a single sync at any one time?
Yeah, the utility I was thinking about was the AOSS, which I've used multiple times on really old apps. That works very well.
Yeah, old SDL is annoying until you find a config file and say, you're running a window. Then you can do whatever you want with it. Yeah, no, if you start it in full screen mode, may the flying spaghetti monster help you, because that's it.
Oh, if you want to have a good time, a good party, if you're looking for something to do, Alt-Tab and Control the video game. Just live a little. Tap that and just see if you can regain control of the box. That's the challenge.
Yeah, I think I've done that on accident before.
In Fallout 3, I have to...
Yeah. Alt-Shift-Control?
No, we're talking about the game I'm playing, Control.
Oh.
Not the key, the game.
Not the key. I'm reading something, so I got distracted.
But no, I have to reliably crash Fallout 3 every single time to tell OBS to capture that window, so that it stays crashed in a zombie state where the window is still technically there. You can't see it anymore, but it's still technically there, and OBS sees it. It's like, yeah, capture that window. And then you have to kill it.
Running that ancient version of OBS.
It's 2508.
Oh, I think practically, I'm surprised you haven't got like a AARP card for it.
No.
To get 10% off on Sundays at the Country Buffet. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Golden Corral,
yeah, no.
Yes. That.
Bethesda games. Actually, there is a way you can alt-tab out of a Bethesda game on Linux. You just have to run it in a virtual desktop. problem with Fallout 3 is if you run it in a virtual desktop, for me anyway, the moment you hit continue to load the last saved game, it crashes. But if you're running it, you're letting it run in what it thinks is full screen, it goes, oh, okay. There. Alright. It's not always that you say something that actually makes sense when you're making your broad sweeping statement, Strider. But
Yeah, Matthew.
I think everyone can agree with that one.
Yes.
And let Arcane bring their games to Linux. And id.
Well, that's one thing with id, man. They it's just clean. It usually, I mean, they adhere to standards.
Yeah.
Like it's Fallout 76. Oh, that's still a thing.
Oh yeah.
I can buy a thing. I mean, people still play it.
Oh yeah. There are people who well, seem to like video games a heck of a lot more than I do.
Well, I assume there's it's better now, you guys. It's only like a smoldering dumpster fire, so it's great. But oh no, man.
And the sole reason that Elder Scrolls Online still has as many players as it does is because they hired the people that used to be called Cryptic Studios that also made Neverwinter. Yeah. They're the ones, ZeniMax Online Studios. There's basically Cryptic right now. And they're the reason that game is still very much up and running, while Neverwinter, on the other hand, has been going downhill.
Who would have thought? 20-year-old game losing its player base.
No, not Neverwinter Nights. That one has been keeping the same 1,000, 2,000 people online always.
Those people just look at you and go, I've made my choice.
Neverwinter the MMO, yeah.
I mean, it's Bethesda charm, right?
Morrowind was very good. Oblivion had its flaws, but it sucked up a lot of people's time. Fallout 3 was divisive, but it still took a lot of people's times. Fallout 4 was a bit of a joke at the start, but then the mods started rolling out and the game got basically fixed by the community, so, oh hey, it's actually a game now. All right.
That's always good. I mean, people get sucked into those games. Like, look at Nori.
She's currently looking at Nexus mods. Looking at more Skyrim mods.
What else is new?
So, yeah.
I gotta give the fish feet. This is critical for my play experience.
She's basically now turned the game into the creator kit. And she can change everything in the game and like duplicate elements and put them in new places on the map. It's like,
Not every. About 80%.
80%, she says.
Got dragons flying around asking for about tree fitty.
No, I don't think she's using the
Macho
Randy
Man,
Savage
Randy
Macho
Savage.
Man.
Oh,
Dragon's like, oh yeah. And
also haven't ventured into the sex lab either.
oh yeah, no sexy mods either.
I'm sure the cup overfloweth with those on.
Be careful if you have Skyrim installed in the new Steam library. Be careful as you scroll down into the screenshots. Just saying. But yeah, no, Arthurian says hello.
Hello.
And so does Jill. Hi, Nori.
That's right, meat relay.
Yeah.
I know my place in life. I'm okay with that.
I enjoyed Skyrim. I'm mad with it. All right. So you still got to figure
Yeah,
out what
after
you're gonna.
357 hours, I think I'd say I enjoyed Skyrim as well.
Yeah. Wow.
You lot play more games than I do. When I look at like 50, I'm like, jeez.
My problem is I play
Have
like
I cracked
20 at
400
once.
yet? Let's see. Lutris. Oh yeah, that's the one game I have installed in Lutris still,
Like
Strider.
300.
403 in 3 minutes.
Yeah. That's a sickness.
Wow.
I don't suffer from that. There's too. I guess maybe I'm saving it all for the home.
No, Ben.
That's how long you play Skyrim?
No, that's how long I've played Need for Speed World.
Well, how about Skyrim?
At
I'm not
350
surprised.
something hours.
Beat you.
Okay, Nori's already played more Skyrim hours than I have.
434 hours and
434 hours.
All right.
Wow.
I got
Yeah,
a
my
DRM.
problem is I got a couple. I play a couple games at the same time and go back and forth. So
I was just
Nori
gonna
makes a fair
tell,
point. You know,
what?
quarantine.
Quarantine? Yeah, that sounds legit. No, I have a DRM free copy of Skyrim. I do. Like, I got the DVD, the original one.
Yeah. You can't let it see the internet, but
yeah, I think I have the ISO of that too. So
Yeah, I didn't pirate it. I bought it. What's for dinner, Pedro? Come on.
I have no idea.
Trying to give you ideas. Serve DVDs.
I don't have a lot of DVDs. I have a lot of CDs.
How? What do you use CDs for?
There's a total of 10 in here.
yeah.
So, you use them to put them in a box and look at the box. Got it. See, my simple mind couldn't comprehend such advanced way.
4 CDs for Planescape Torment, 5 CDs for Baldur's Gate, and
Okay.
1 CD for Fallout 2.
Seems good. Anybody else watch the Doom? Yes, the Doom trailer. Let's pretend that never happened. The Doom trailer. I watched
I
it for
haven't.
like first and second scene. I was like, oh man, this should have been a series.
Oh, okay. So it. Oh, yeah. The movie. Okay. Because the last couple series were pretty good, actually. The one on Sci-Fi Channel a long time ago. That was good.
It was good for its time. It was like
Yeah.
2001. No movies. I don't know, man. You want a Little Nicky TV series? All right.
Yeah, and
I'm
a
not
good
sure
idea.
I want to fuel Adam Sandler's ego.
I don't think Adam
What's-
Sandler needs ego at this point. He's just like, Netflix just backs up the money truck to his house. And I'm like, here, go play around.
I have seen a bunch of Adam Sandler movies show up, or at least be recommended to me on Netflix recently. It's like, is Little Nicky there yet? No. Okay.
I haven't seen Cobra Kai. I watched, like Pedro did recently, the first 3 episodes of The Boys. I'm like, all right, I'm in. We're good. And then I went and watched the first 3 episodes of Raised by Wolves, which, again, it's like, I'm in. I needed some decent sci-fi. I think that works. So I'm down with that.
I'll
But-
have to watch those now that I've finished The Boys.
See, I want like a Dune series of like the Bene Gesserit sisterhood,
Ah.
because they're just like they're not portrayed correctly in any film or TV series. Those are just like some badass kill you dead ninja people. And I want to see that, man, with the weirding ways and like being able to bend time and all that fun stuff. That's not even like, if you've never read through the books, you're like, what? Like, yeah.
Oh, speaking of Vikings, as
Oh.
someone who saw the first 3 seasons of Vikings before he ever saw the Warcraft movie. I watched the Warcraft movie and it's like, oh, that's not a Ragnar Lothbrok thing.
It's
that's that actor thing.
Northbrook in space. Okay, if I did have to make one complaint about that, it was immediately like, wait a minute, is that? And he can't hold the like non-Nordic accent out, and so he kind of flips back and forth sometimes. I'm like, wait, oh, that is you. Okay. He's still got a little bit of Northbrook in his acting, man. He played that.
Yeah, no, he was clearly very methodic with the Ragnar Lothbrok. But
Vikings was a great series. I came to it like 3 years too late because it's like, hey, Vikings, have you seen that? I'm like, isn't that on the History Channel?
it was.
It was. And actually, I watched it all the way up until he got noped, and I made it like 3 episodes in the new series. I'm like, nah, all right, now we're just making stuff up. I mean, it's semi. They threw you some historical, when he like half bones. I'm like, oh look, the boneless, and you're like, oh, that kind of happened that way. All right, Eccleston. All right. So it was that, but yeah, it was fair enough. Fair enough.
North America move. Yeah, the 3rd season was a bit different.
Well, did you see the Discovery trailer?
Not yet.
New one out. I think it came out yesterday or the day before. Looks like we're going to be on a planet this year, kids. Just going to throw that out there.
Not enough money for space CGI.
Set your phasers accordingly. So, all right. That's gonna do it. I gotta go. Big podcast thing. Gonna chop the ends off. Send it to YouTube. Send it my CDN. So Strike about a quick giving out of some money. It's my favorite part of the week.
No, it's always fun when Strider goes off on something or someone. It's usually me, to be fair. I'm very antagonistic. I realize that. But yeah, no, it's fun.
It's a new adventure. It's great. All right, beautiful people. I'll see you tomorrow night. We're going to be back for Young in Blood. We're going through Wolfenstein, so it's part of our Jordan and mine team building exercise. It's an entertaining watch, or sometimes it turns into, because we're getting pretty good. B, we can almost get through the entire hour without communications breakdown.
Until the game crashes?
No, well, that's pregame. You have to enter this weird loop around cheat code in order to get into the game. Like, no joke. We've learned, like, if we launch the game, both of us launch the game, I get into the level, he's not on my list. If we both close the game, that sounds normal. Go to the Bethesda.net website, log into the account separately, then relaunch the game, then it shows up.
Yeah.
No other variation of this will allow us to connect through the. But it's me and Jordan. We've hit every possible.
Jordan was talking about that on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. We don't know. That's just like the game we gotta play, man. So yeah, you get like a solid 45 minutes of like attempting to cooperate until it gets down to you'll hear me break out the first like, really? Then it's downhill for like the last 5-10 minutes. You've had your medicine. Look at it.
Well, it is legal in California, so yeah.
Hey man, PCP. Yeah, wouldn't you like to see that? The dark part of me absolutely would, but maybe like after you insulated and removed all the sharp objects, so no one can see.
D-pad at all of the sharp corners as well.
Yeah. Like maybe give him like a floppy rubber knife to play with so he thinks he's doing something.
Oh.
All right, beautiful people. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.